This is my reflection on Ed's story. First question, reflecting on Ed's story, do I agree or disagree with his conclusion? I do agree with his conclusion. The reason why I agree with his conclusion is because of where Ed found his identity. At the beginning of his ministry, he found his identity in ministry. He found his identity in wanting to be needed. Ed makes this quote, "When you're not needed, you lose part of your purpose in life." This explains why he didn't feel obligated to live any boundaries when he could no longer serve in his previous capacity. It was the ministry that kept him in line, not pleasing the Lord. What he is ultimately saying is that he was living for other people and not for the one who called him. It's interesting, Ed makes this statement. The purpose is to follow Jesus. Previously, I never had time to do it. This sounds like a word of caution to all of us wanting to enter vocational ministry. It also marks the beginning of the change in Ed's identity. When he no longer had the distraction of serving the masses, he was able to serve the Lord. And as a result of living for the Lord, he began to see how he could serve others. Second question, how would I respond to Ed's statement, the impact of his ministry? This is something I'm trying to figure out for myself currently. It seems for some time that the understanding of an impactful ministry is one that attracts the masses. Attendance is the marker for whether or not God is blessing a ministry. However, attendance does not indicate life change. It does not indicate accountability, trusting in God, or walking in holiness. At the very most, it indicates that a person was able to entertain a group for an hour or so. Aside from this misconception, it has always been known that one-on-many is less effective than one-on-one. Herb Hodges illustrates it this way. If you want to fill milk bottles, you don't take a bucket of water and throw it towards the containers. You go up to each individual bottle and pour into them. This is what we see Jesus doing when he trained the 12. He had what he had to say to the masses, but it was the ones who were with him that he poured into when the masses had left, and they were greatly impacted. The third question, describe my calling. How do I think Ed would respond? My calling is to discipleship and leadership. Those categories are so vague, but I believe that is where the Lord is leading me. I don't have to be involved in some dynamic church. I don't have to be teaching higher education, but my concern is for the body. As the culture becomes less Christian education will be obsolete. What will become increasingly important is leadership, someone who will have a plan, someone who will be able to navigate the various trials the church will have to endure. Mere Bible knowledge will not be able to teach that. It will take someone who will be willing to get involved in the people's lives, be honest with them, allow them time to grow. I think Ed would agree. He would probably tell me to narrow my target to just a few. This seems to be what Paul was telling Timothy. And what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others also.